All right, this is the Algebra 2 Unit 6 review. I'm going to go over the material in the study guide and work through the problems so you can see the answers and how to do them. First thing to say is you have vocabulary at the top. I've put just the lesson numbers where those items are found if you want to go back and look at the actual definitions. So you need to know those actual definitions from the unit. The rest of this I'm going to work out on my note-keeping app. So let me jump over here and open up our first set here. So again, I'm just going to go through these one by one and try to get this to be a slightly better resolution. Let's try this again here. Weird. All right. Let's try this one more time. All right. Here we go. All right. That's a little bit better, hopefully. There we go. All right, so starting with multiplying polynomials, this is just using the distributive property and FOIL method. So remember that when there's a number in front of a parentheses, you multiply everything in the parentheses by that number. So we're going to do 4 times 3x, which is 12x, and we're going to do 4 times 6, which is 24. And that's actually it for that one. So the second one is a little bit more complex because we have to do 2x times each number, and then we have to do 3 times each number, and then put those answers all together. So we'll do again piece by piece. 2x times 3x squared, that's the first term times the first term, that's 6x to the third, because x times x squared is x to the third. 2x times 4x is 8, and then x times x is x squared. 2x times 9, notice I'm bringing that negative with the 9, is 18x. And then for the green portion, I'm going to move to the 3 and do 3 times 3x squared. So that's going to be 9x squared. 3 times 4x, 3 times 4 is 12x. 3 times 9, and again subtraction, 27. Now all I have to do is look for like terms. I have x squareds here and x squareds here. I have x's here and I have x's here, and those other items don't have anything that go with them. So for our final answer, we're going to end up with 6x to the third. And then we do 8x squared plus 9x squared. 8 plus 9 is 17. Notice the ending doesn't change. You just add the coefficients. And then we have minus 18x and plus 12x. So negative 18 plus 12, you can use your calculator on those if you need it, is minus 6x minus 27. And then that is the end because we've combined everything that can be combined. All right. So that's how you do those multiplication problems. We did a bunch of those in the lesson, so hopefully you have that down. Then we have divide polynomials. Here you're going to use synthetic division. We're going to put 2, 7, negative 6, and 8. And then because the 0 of this is negative 4, that's the number that goes there. First step, bring down the 2. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. And this is the process. Go back and watch that lesson video if you need a refresher on how to do synthetic division. 7 minus 8 is negative 1. Negative 4 times negative 1 is 4. Negative 2 plus, or negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2. Negative 4 times negative 2 is 8. Oh, and I messed up. That should be a negative 8 on the top from right here. And then those cancel each other out. So then I'm left with the following. 2x to the second, because this goes down 1, minus 1x minus 2. And that's what this looks like when you convert it back into polynomial form. All right, so let's look at our other example. Again, we're going to use synthetic division. We have 3, negative 2, negative 7, and 6. 3, 2, negative 7, and 6. And the 0 of this is -1. It's what makes that 0. -1 plus 1 is 0. Bring down the 3. -1 times 3 is -3. -2 times -2 plus -3 is -5. -1 times -5 is 5. -7 plus 5 is -2. -1 times -2 is 2. 6 plus 2 is 8. So we have a remainder here. So we'll deal with that in a second. So my final answer is 3x, and then it goes down 1, so squared, minus 5x, minus 2, and remainder is 8, which is written the following. 8 over the original divisor, which is x plus 1. And so that is the final answer. So you have an example there of one with a remainder and one without a remainder. All right. Just jump back over here and look at the next set, which is talking about rational roots test. This was the thing where you had to find the p's and the q's. So remember, rational roots test refers to these p's and q's. And so remember, the p's are the coefficients of the constant term, and the q's are the factors of the coefficient of the leading term. So the factors of 5 are plus or minus 1, plus or minus 5. Nothing else divides into 5. And then the factors of 2 are plus or minus 1, and plus or minus 2. Nothing else divides into 2. So then all I have to do is write every combination of those. So I have plus or minus 1 over 1, plus or minus 1 over 2, plus or minus 5 over 1, and plus or minus 5 over 2. So these would be the roots. You could simplify this and this to be 1 and 5. Instead of 1 over 1 and 5 over 1, you could just do 1 and 5 like that. So that's how you do rational roots. Again, p's come from here, q's come from here. Factoring patterns. All right, I'm going to jump out of here and go to our lesson notes and find our little guide for this. So let's copy, if I can find it. Oh. Uh-oh. Go here. Now, I thought I had our examples. So let me bring this up on a different sheet here. That's okay. You know what I'll do is I'll just grab this right here. All right, I'm going to pause this video for a second. All right, sorry about that. Let's look at our factoring pattern. So I brought this up from our lecture notes. This is our little guide here. This is from lesson 3 is kind of the key to all this. So we need to figure out which one of these patterns here we're looking at in our problem that we're working on. So let's jump over here. We have 8x to the third minus 27. So we need to recognize this is a difference, and it is particularly a difference of cubes because we have this 3 right here. It tells us it's a difference of cubes. So if I run over here, I see that difference of cubes is a minus b, a squared plus ab plus b squared. So we want to copy this down over here. A minus b, a squared plus ab plus b squared. Make sure I got that right. Minus ab. Wait, plus a, yep, plus. Okay. And then we have to identify the a and the b term. So, well, the a and the b term are going to be whatever makes this 8x squared and whatever cubed makes 27. I put this also in the notes. I gave you a list of common, see if I can find it here. There it is, common cubes and squares. 8 is 2 to the third, and 27 is 3 to the third. You can see that here and here. So you're going to use that. So we know it's going to be 2 and 3, and then there's going to be an x here because of this x here. So again, I use the cube chart to know what makes 8 and 27. So my a is 2x, and my b is 3. Okay, so again, we're trying to find what this is, and we're going to use that pattern there. So we're going to do 2x everywhere there's an a. You'll notice I'm just leaving space for everything. B is 3, so I put 3, 3, 3. All right, and then I'm just going to jump up here and put the final answer here. I get 2x minus 3. 2x squared is 4x squared. 2x times 3, or 2x times 3 is 6x, and 3 squared is 9. And so that would be the final answer for that. Very similar concept here. This is a to the third plus b to the third. You can see that because of this third right there. So all we have to do is decide what is my a and what is my b. Obviously, a is just x. And then if I look up 125 on my thing over here, 125 is 5. So that's going to be a 5 there. And then all I have to do is find the pattern for a third plus b to the third. Look over on my chart, and I can scroll back up. You're allowed to have all of this available to you during the test. So it's a plus b, and then a squared minus ab plus b squared. Okay, so a plus b, a squared minus ab plus b squared. So we start plugging everything in. A plus b is x and 5, so x plus 5. A squared is x squared. Minus ab, 5 times x is 5x. And then b squared. 5 squared is 25. And that is it. All right. Let's jump to another drawing here and look at the next set of problems. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here on the binomial pattern, but I want to remind you, this is when you have a situation like the following. This is when you have a situation that would be like a minus b to the 7th power, and then you have to expand it. And they're going to leave parts of this out. Like they might leave that one out, and they might leave this one out, for instance. Let's say they gave us this, and they're like, okay, what goes here and what goes here? I'll circle those in yellow. What goes in these yellow circles? Well, in order to do that, you have to understand one of two things. The first thing you have to understand is that the a term starts at 7 and goes 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, none. And the b's go 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, none. So then this has to be a 6. The reason it has to be a 6 is that follows the pattern of the a powers counting down. And then the other part is what happened, where you get these numbers from in the coefficients. And they come from Pascal's triangle. Let's jump back out again. Go over to our notes. A lot of important information in this lesson. And we need to find the 7th row of Pascal's triangle, which is right there. 1, 7, 21, 35, 35, 21, 7, and 1. And you can just refer to that. And that tells me that I need a 35 to be in this spot here. And of course, you can see that that is true there and there. So that is how we do that. All right, next is inverse functions. Remember, for inverse functions, you need to switch the x and the y and then solve again for y. So when I do this, I switch the x and the y, and I get x equals 3y minus 4, and then I solve for y again. Basic algebra stuff here. I want to add 4 to both sides. That gives me x plus 4 equals 3y. I want to divide by 3 on both sides, giving me y equals x plus 4 divided by 3. And again, I can see there's a -4 plus 4 pair. There's a 3 times divided by 3 pair as well. That tells me that I did it correctly. Jumping over here, same idea. I'm going to switch these. X equals 5y squared plus 2. Go in here to solve. -2, -2. This is just basic algebra stuff. X minus 2 equals 5y squared divided by 5 divided by 5. The 5's cancel, leaving me with x minus 2 over 5 equals y squared. To get rid of the y squared, I have to take the square root. And I get y equals the square root of x minus 2 over 5. Now, obviously there was a lot more steps in that part, but you just need to follow that basic pattern of solving for y. And you just undo everything. Remember that when you're solving, you solve in opposite order of operations. You start with addition, subtraction, then multiplication, division, and then any exponents, which is why I did -2 first, then I divided by 5, and then I did the square root to deal with the exponent. So just keep that in mind as you work. All right, one last little section, and this is dealing with composite functions. A composite function is when you take one function and plug it into the other. So in this, it says to do g of f of x. In other words, take the f of x function and plug it into the x here. Notice I'm replacing the x, not the x squared. So it's going to be the following: 3x minus 2 squared. So that means that I have to do 3x minus 2 times 3x minus 2. And this is going to be the FOIL method. So I do 3x times both of those and 2 times both of those. 3x times 3x is 9x squared. I'm going to get minus 6x, 3x times 2. I'm going to get minus 6x again because of -2 times 3x. And then -2 times -2 is plus 4, leaving me with 9x squared minus 12x plus 4 because I'm combining those two to make 12. And that's the answer. Taking a look at this next one, tells me to plug the g into the f. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it there. So I get 5 times x over 5 plus 4 minus 2. So when I do this, I have to distribute the 5 here and here. This becomes 5x over 5, we'll deal with that in a second, plus 20 minus 2. Those cancel, leaving me with x plus 20 minus 2, also known as x plus 18. By doing 20 minus 2 gives me 18. All right, so that's all the problems you're going to see on the test. Make sure that you are looking over all the material that I've given you, and make sure you have some notes ready for you when you sit down to the test. Otherwise, that's the end of this video. So good luck, and let me know if you have any questions or need any assistance.